You're watching The Experience Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Everybody, Cool Gamer is the first person here. How's that possible? Hi, y'all. I'm Miss Jen, and this is Miss Shanice. And this is a Minute to Skim It on The Experience, where we like to keep you informed about what books you need to pick up this week. There's a weird week this week because it's kind of a small release week. So there's relief for your pocketbook. And it gives you an opportunity to try out stuff that you wouldn't normally try out. Your pull box is probably, not as full as it usually is. So, I don't know what to start with this week. I'm going to start with Firepower. Oh, thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. All right, so Firepower. We're all the way up to issue number 21. I picked this one out because I felt like I remember the solicitation saying that there was like big news story arc going on. And since I'm missing some of the stuff in between, I don't know how it got to the head here. But what I do know from reading this issue, what does that say? I'm not letting that terrible acronym die. It is DBKD.
Oh, it's a great acronym. I love it.
Mm-hmm. How do you say it? Where do we put the vowels into that one? I can see it now on a shirt. So your main character, remember you got the main character, I think his name is something boring like Colin. He gets called, like he's just a normal dad, gets chosen as a super like holder of the fire power, hence the name, which is ancient like kung fu something, right? He gets picked up by this really old crotchety guy who looks like he could not hurt a fly, and trained, and then he leaves to go back home. That's kind of like early issues for the series. And then because I think he decides he just wasn't really, it's not his thing, puts himself in danger and his family, and he's like, wait a minute, I don't want to be the chosen whatever. So and then ninjas come to his house and try to kill him, and he has to try to protect his family without them knowing anything's going on. So flash forward here, you've got this character who is teamed up with somebody else. They're actually trying to gather together what they call the masters, the old masters, of which his trainer is one of. And they are trying to fight this other, I don't even know if I can call him a master too, but just like say a highly skilled martial artist who also controls or is in league with a giant dragon. So the traditional Chinese dragon, where it's just like, little tiny flipper feet, but really long snake-like, the big head, scary. Like think Shang-Chi, that dragon. So that's what this whole book is about them. Can they find the masters? Will it do any good if they find them and combine them? Or is this dragon and its dragon master, we'll call it, are they so powerful that there's just no hope for anybody? And what does it mean? So it's awesome. I hope they make this into a show, honestly.
Oh yeah, like it looks fun. Need more action shows on TV too.
Because I love like a hapless hero, right? One that gets told early on, like he's got dad bod and all. Like, hey, you got to be the savior of the world, and he's like, whatevs, I got to pick up the kids from soccer practice, and then he's awesome later on, right? Like that progression for them, it's just fun.
Dad bod and all.
Dad bod and all. I think we need more dad bod. I'm thinking of, what was that movie that came out during pretty deep COVID? It's the actor Odenkirk.
Nobody.
Yeah. That was bomb. If you haven't seen Nobody, go back and try to rent that bad boy. I don't know where you would find it, but it's like John Wick, but he's older, of course, because Odenkirk's older, but she kicks so much butt.
John Wick, but with more dad bod.
That's right. And not that he has any like real fat, so it's just kind of like the presentation of his.
Right.
He's wearing like dad clothes, I guess, instead of like the suit, which make you look super skinny.
Dad.
Hey, Kenneth, and Triple B is here.
From dad bod.
Dad bod, yeah. I think that's what's gonna happen in Thor. Was it something in Thunder? Love and Thunder?
Love and Thunder, yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to get rid of his thunder thighs. See?
Oh my god.
Sorry, you should take over now.
So my book, my book is going to be Captain Marvel. 38. So it's been a minute since I read Captain Marvel. And this is actually an excellent jumping point issue. So Carol goes to space, has space adventures, comes back, and there's this being of energy that's attached to her. Normal Marvel things. The thing about this form, it looks like binary.
That's what I thought was going on. I thought binary was back. No.
So it's like, whoa, you're binary. It's like, no, I'm not. And then Carol disappears, and then this person who's not binary but looks like binary is still on Earth, and she's trying to figure out who she is, and everyone's trying to figure out who this woman who looks like a previous character is. And Carol is, you'll have to read the book for that. And
is Star still around in her storyline also?
See, I'm not sure because it's been a minute since I've actually read Captain Marvel. So even before the whole Star issues. But I really, really like this. I like seeing. So for the sake of for I guess clarity, I'll call her non-binary. So non-binary. And Jessica and Jessica Drew, they have a really fun dynamic in this issue. Jessica is just so over all this because she's just so exhausted. Okay, my best friend disappeared, you're here, fine, whatever, let's just fight this giant lizard kaiju thing. and other people in New York, they're like, I'm pretty sure that's binary. I even have a little a trading card, which I love in the Marvel universe. That they there's in-universe trading cards and all that. And of course she's non-binary is trying to figure out what is going on. And I just picked it just to find something, to have something to read this week, but now I want to know what's going on, what's her deal. And again, it is nice to see this form come back, kind of, because it's really cool.
So I love the costume work.
Oh yes.
So is it just her and Jessica as main characters and her kind of
Oh, there are other characters. There's a certain mutant who makes an appearance. I don't want to spoil too much about this issue because it was genuinely fun. Just seeing all the banter. And it was a book that I really need to read after another book that I read this week that was fairly heavy. So if you're into fun banter, definitely recommend Captain Marvel 38.
So if you're having just one of those days that it would lift you up. Okay, that's a good thing. Because there are some heavy books this week, of course.
Oh, yeah.
How to choose. There's so many good ones. Okay, I'm going to go for all my non-number ones first. I love it, Justin. So you got double Jen running. I'm so sorry that you have to hear my voice twice. Last night, for sure, when I was doing my live show, we were doing a double camera, and we could not figure out how to have it so you guys couldn't hear it twice, like an echo. But on my end, in my earbuds, I was always echoed. So I'm sure that I got the full effect of what those poor people that have to do when they are doing the national anthem in big auditoriums where they're trying not to hear themselves and get all mixed up. I was I totally get it now because I don't know what I sounded like at all because I felt like I was repeating myself, but I don't know if I was. So if you're watching it and it's super funny, you should record that for posterity because that's what's going on. What's the furthest place from here? We're all the way up to issue number 6, which means that soon there'll be a trade paperback for this first story arc. And so if you need to catch up that way, you can. But the other cool thing is that I feel like people ordered well enough for What's the Furthest Place just based on Boss and why can't I think of, and Rosenberg's other works that probably is going to be for posterity, one of those series that everyone's going to want. So all you really need to know about the universe that this lives in is that it looks like there's been some kind of apocalyptic event that's happened that I don't think have ever mentioned. Looks like it's way farther on, and that there are no real true adults. It feels like mostly young people that have kind of like formed families, and each of those families has really like distinct style. Like there's a whole group that looks like that came straight out of like firemen groups. There's ones that wear like pig faces, just like pig masks. They're in the family that has their full on carnival. So instead of forming like true like gangs, this is how they've formed up families, which is essentially what it is. So we're following one family who they're all associated with a specific place. What's the furthest place from here is the reason why it's written this way. They lose their house. So where they have formed their family up, they don't have it anymore. So for a lot of the issues, they've been kind of like traveling and trying to find a place they can claim as their own. They keep on finding places, but those are all owned by some of their family. There's conflicts. They've picked up people that are also kind of like don't have a family. And so this issue deals specifically, like I think that the last issue had the carnival cover, like the kind of like the finishing up of the interaction for them here. And there are big implications for what happens to their family, and some deaths. So just so you know, if you've got really attached with some of them, you might, just like they do, you should know if you've read any of their other works, you're gonna have your heart broken at some point. I'm actually surprised it's taken them this long to like do this, because of any writer will tell you, that's what I learned from Ron V, you kill what they love. That's the rules for being a writer. And I'm like, it's true. If you think about your very favorite books, you have experienced huge loss related to your main characters almost always. So it continues to be awesome. All of the issues feel like they're extra thick. I don't know. I've never sat down and counted the pages, but my guess is that they're at least 36-page books. It might be bigger. They're not square bound or anything, but they're definitely not just 24-page books. There's no way. And so they're worth your money. Absolutely. For the art and the writing. Grab them up.
I'd have to check it out, because I remember the first issue, like, that, like, broke my heart. Like their other book, like, 4 Kids Walk to a Bank, that destroyed me.
Oh, yeah. I still think my favorite thing is when people say, I read all the way to issue number 4. Do you think they're going to make a second series? I'm like, you should really, really read number 5.
Your questions will be answered once you read that issue.
Yes. It would be interesting.
Let's see.
I'm sure they could figure out a way to do it.
So my next pick is New Think. So I was a little surprised I was actually able to read this book, because I genuinely thought you were going to like, no, Shanice, I'm going to read this one today.
Oh, you thought I was going to like give you a hard time about it. No.
But so before I actually read the book, I've heard and read that it's kind of, well, it's a Black Mirror-esque book, which it very much is, but it's not as heavy as Black Mirror. So once you read it, you won't be like, well, my day's done. But it's actually, but it has like the same things about how technology, how much it influences us for better or worse. And in this book, it's definitely like the take that it does. Basically, there is a species that's called screens, and they infiltrate the earth. And they, funny enough, they look like computer screens, phone screens.
Terrified right now.
And it's like this 30-year-long thing. And as I'm reading it, like, aha, that's really cool. Oh, wait. Like, as I'm reading it, like, I get like a message on my phone. I look at it, and I'm reading the book too. It's like, it's hitting a little too close.
Got you now.
Yeah, they got me. Yeah, I really liked it.
How many different stories in there?
Oh, it's just a one.
Oh, it's just one. Okay, because it says anthological, so I always figure that it's got a bunch of different stories in the one. It probably just means you can pick up each individual issue and be fine.
Right. It is a one and done. Like it's a really easy, super quick read, and there is a really fun little message. I guess it was the initial pitch for the book, because someone asked the writer, was like, "Hey, so what is this book? What is this book about?" And it's in a format of like a text message. So that I thought that was really sweet. That was really cool. But yeah, I really liked it a lot. I would definitely recommend it if you need a Black Mirror fix before the next season comes back. Definitely check that out.
Give me just a second. Mm-hmm. I got a message up front. Isn't it envelope? Let's see if Liam can figure out that cryptic message. Okay, by the way, this new this whole idea about technology being slightly dangerous, also keep your eyes peeled. I think in a couple weeks, Vault has what is already slating to be like a complete sellout. They've got so much stinking buzz for this book. Zach Kaplan, our good friend that writes all the good stuff, 3 of the 4 titles that he has releasing in quick succession here has Mindset releasing, in which there really is an entire like thing going on with your phones. It is completely resetting your psyche so they can control you. And I asked him, I said, is this based on reality? He's like, I don't write fiction. I was like, dadgummit, I knew it.
And that's something too I really liked about this is like you said, like, oh, it's obviously like just, exaggerating just for dramatic effect, but it's like, oh no, wait, this is
mm-hmm. Yep. I for one welcome my new iPhone overlord. Let's do Carnage. Okay, Rom V posted a whole bunch of pictures of the covers of these. The 4 covers are all equally as amazing. There's not a one that you're going to be like, I can pass that one. So, Rom V is such a good writer. What you need to know about Carnage. Yes, secret low-key Lex Luthor, probably. So, just like in Venom, which makes sense because he's also co-writing that with Ewing. Eddie Brock and the symbiote are operating completely separate in that universe because Eddie Brock has now got the power of like the king of the symbiotes, and Venom's off running around with Dylan. So in this one, it's kind of the same. You've got Cletus Cassidy completely separated out, except for he's not walking around as a body. He's actually inside a human like they're a sock puppet and running them around. And Carnage is operating as a completely by himself. So they both have different agendas in this book. One is dealing with, I think his name is Spot. Is that the guy that makes little Spot universes? Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. So Spot, and then there is, and then Cletus is inside, I think he's like a police detective who obviously is having a really hard time because he, basically sits at his desk and has, Cletus in his ear saying, that dude's annoying, stab him in the eye. You know you want to. And he has to be like, no. So anyway. With hair. Zach still has hair, even though he has young kids. So Carnage is really progressing well. And if what happens toward the end of the book with Spot, and who Spot is in his real life, Dr. Oh gosh, what is his name? Ulm. If what happens there is any indication, Carnage, now that he can't be king of the symbiotes, has decided he's going to try to see if he can be king of everything. Not just of all universes. Why not? Why not? So definitely pick it up. If you're only into issue 3, you should be able to find 1 and 2 pretty easily. And if you don't, you know everything that you need to know. Okay. Climate's in Baltimore. It's going to awesome. Oh, you would go. Oh no! If you went, you could go see Kyle. Me and Justin, you should do it just for like half a day or something. That person doesn't need their teeth fixed.
Did you want to go against the other one, me?
Here, I'll do. Okay, so Caleb Thusat. I've carried other books by him, and they pitched this one. So you'll know him by Nook, which was a hardcover book we carried during hard COVID. That is about like a family that moves into a new old house, and there's the kiddo that moves in there can see like this ghost cat. I think they call it the ghost cat Nook. But anyway, so that's he also does that. But this is the Neverland for huge fans of, Hook, obviously. This is the variant cover, by the way. The other one looks much different. So this one is kind of like not the book to read if you want to have unless you want a good cry. Good cry is great. If you want to have a good cry, you want to think about, you want to get yourself really deep. It happens inside a pandemic. It doesn't say that it's our pandemic, but it feels like that's really what they're trying to say. It really is about this kid who is kind of like outside the door of his mom's room as his dad's, and they're talking to her. She clearly has a case of, we'll say COVID, because that's probably what it is. And so, he knows there's something bad going on, and he's super stressed. His dad comes out and basically tells him, let me help kind of like distract you. And then they start telling the story of Neverland, in which the dad says this is real and you have to believe it for it to happen. And the kid was like, that's great. Thanks for trying to distract me, Dad. But then things happen. And that's the magic of this book. It's really a high quality book. This book was only available, I think, at Kickstarter. But it also had, along with the Kickstarter, it had a retailer tier. So your local comic shop may have it. And if they don't have it, I'm sure they can get with Caleb Thusat to get it for you. I'm telling you, it is never more important than it is right now to support the indie creators, because money is super tight everywhere for you, for me, for everyone. So if it's only like buy a copy from random folks at all the little shops you go to, this like shop small thing is going to be so important right now. If you like the places where you shop normally and you want them to stay around. So for indie creators like this, if you can throw like a one issue order to them, it will make all the difference. And even if you can't afford it, because let's be real, sometimes you just can't, send them words of like lifting up, like say I'll read the PDF and give you a quote or whatever you can do to help them. Just give everybody some extra love, because we're all super stressed out. Read a book.
Share a post, boost post, anything you can do.
Yep.
Let's see. So speaking of Kickstarter.
Oh, you're attacking it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm attacking it. So my next book is going to be Neverender, #1. Me and Jen were talking about it right before the show started, because I've got mixed feelings about this book.
Mm-hmm.
It is also my B-Day.
Is it really your birthday, Jessie? Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! So it starts off with a duel in space. So it's like, oh, cool. And with it being the duel in space, it's like you really don't want to lose a duel in the first place, of course, especially in space. So that's the beginning of the book, and then it follows a kid who's living like on like this like space station where obviously things aren't great. It's very much a have and have not situation. If you have money, then you're set. If you don't have money, then you're kind of stuck there. So he's trying to get off this space station, and of course, the book that it is a really hardcore sci-fi drama. Things are going to be hard for him. So I wanted more from this book, because it's like it was like this. It was like a tease almost, and it's like, okay, this is great, and the book's over. What happened?
So wait. Okay, so if the book is all like this for you, does this make you like immediately go run and pull it on your pull box, or you're just like going, there wasn't enough there for me to like really know whether I'm gonna like it or no?
The latter. And I hate feeling like that, because it's like, if a book is enough of like a tease where it's like, okay, I need to add to my pull list, or at least get the second issue if there's some left on the floor, then, you know, I'm more happy to do that. But when it's something where it's like, okay, it's not quite enough, but it's not enough to make me go out and buy the next issue. Like I'll still check it out, because I feel bad for saying that. And of course, you know, and support, you know, small, like, you know, like support, like, you know, like a smaller company, smaller books. And it just may be just like an off first issue, which happens. Like, there are certain series that I love to this day where I was like, the first issue is kind of meh. But then the second, third issue is still, it has like that hook. I'm hoping that's the case with Neverender, because the art is absolutely gorgeous, and I do like the premise of it and the world that you're introduced to, but it just wasn't enough to make me go like, oh, I need the next issue now. I was like, I'll ask Jen her thoughts, because I actually want to know what you think about it when you read it.
Hopefully we don't sell out tonight, because otherwise I'll never know. Okay, 2 good ones here. All right, don't miss this issue of Darth Vader. This Darth Vader is taking place. Anakin's probably, it's right between when he becomes Darth Vader and the next big movie. So this one, yeah. So this one deals a lot with, shoot, what can I say? Hold up. This is nuts. Okay, so I'll get you here. In this one, Vader, who's Anakin, obviously, is confronted by someone in his life that was close to his mom, who has seen like the audio of her last words, which are like, there's still good in him, basically, and it's kind of like said, don't let your mom be a liar, basically. Don't let Padme be a liar. So she's kind of like gotten him to go along with her to go, and it looks like try to like rescue a bunch of people out of like an enslaved kind of situation, which is crazy, because you've got all these like the Crimson Reign guys trying to go around and like grab power, I guess is the best way to say it. And you have like a really big character show up at the end, not like a movie character, but someone that's important to this storyline that's going on, which probably is going to make it really difficult. But it's kind of interesting to see this side of Vader at this point in his life trying to do good, or try to do something that's not, you know, only for the ends of the empire, or at the emperor's behest kind of thing.
Right. Ooh. That sounds really good. Let's see. So my last book is The Closet. Number 1, and it's also another book that I thought I was going to have to like do rock, paper, scissors for. Miss Jen.
It's only a little bit disappointed when you picked it up.
Oh no!
I looked at the overall books and I was like, well, there's not really something I can be like, you want this one?
Well, see, I was going to do that for Miles, so I was like, I'll let her have that one. But The Closet, I absolutely loved it. Granted, I'm a little bit biased because I really enjoyed the writer's other books.
Who is the writer?
Mr. Tinian.
Tease it.
Yeah. So if you've read his other books, which I'm sure everyone here has, like Some of These Hidden Children, Department of Truth, like it's, you know that he is a fantastic writer. This looks like it's going to be a fun little horror comic for the summer, which I'm so happy about. Basically a family, they plan on making a big move to Portland. The little one is, he's having night terrors. Like he's a little kid, so there's a monster in his closet. So his parents are like, there's a monster in your closet. But of course, this is a horror book. There is something there. And the best way I can describe it, it's oh nice. The best way I could describe it, it gave me vibes to a book called House of Leaves. If y'all have ever read it, I don't want to go into too much detail because it'll be kind of spoilery. But it's like, oh, okay, this is have a new book to add to my pull list now. Yeah. So this
really
was I really loved it. Curious, I'm really excited for a second issue, which I'm hoping is coming out very soon. 10 out of 10. This was my personal book of the week. I loved it so much.
Oh, dude. Maybe I should have fought for it then. See? Just gonna remind everybody as we're in the middle of this awesome interview show that we've been doing, 6 years solid. Please subscribe so you can get notifications when we're on. It's real easy. Just, hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching from Facebook, just hit, like the reminder button. It's good enough. But we do like subscribers because it lets us know that we're doing a good job. It should show our bosses and be like, yo, see, we're doing a good job.
It's this week too, so double opinion.
It is. Unless you're a dummy like me and forgot to push finish. So we've ours coming next week. All right. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, number 38. There's been a lot of buzz around this. I'm super thankful to Marvel, etc., who actually give us way ahead heads up about what the content of this book is going to be, in which someone very close to Miles shows up. So all you need to know about Miles is that starting like issue number, let's say 39 or no, this is where at 38. So it must have been 29. They had the storyline in which they had like an alternate universe clone, evil clone of Miles show up. Named, I think, Salid. And he ends up kind of really being a super bad guy, very independently, like as a well-developed character on his own merits. And they also have a couple other versions of Miles, one of which is running around with him in this book. He mostly just says gloop, but he's like super powerful. So even though he sounds like a dummy, he's really awesome. So maybe he just like that. His voice box was messed up when he was being cloned and made up. So in this one, they're actually have crossed over somehow. I don't remember how they ended up over here to another universe, in which Miles died, but this other character, I'm going to call him Salid. I'm going to get it wrong, but he looks like he's been like elevated to the role of like emperor or something, but only over this bubble universe of Brooklyn, but not all of it even. Okay, so it's like really encapsulated this thing. So the whole book is about them meeting other people that might exist in the main universe, but have different roles. And in this way, they have someone who has two people in his life that show up in this other universe as much different ages than you're used to seeing them, and have big major roles and kind of like the resistance against this emperor guy. Very good point to jump on. Absolutely. All you need to know is that, like that specific stuff, that you're not in the same universe, even though it addresses that. And you need to know that there's lots of clones of him, because you're going to get confused otherwise, because there's either a bunch of different costumes. A lot of them are here on the front cover. So you get to see the bad guys there at the top. Then you get to see Miles there at the bottom. That's his new costume. There's the gloop guy. That's the new character. And that's a character you don't recognize until you realize who it is as a different age. So without notes, I have no idea. Glurp. There you go. Shift. That's his name. Glurp. I love it. He's a good character. Are we done with all those up there?
That's it.
All right, I'm going to show you guys what we have for trade paperbacks that I'm sure are new. I think that we only find them when they're dead is brand new for this week. I love things like this. This is called Hummingbird, a heartfelt memoir. And it is just a straight up memoir. Let me see if it says here. It says, still reeling from his father's suicide, Travis moves in with his grandmother to become her caretaker as she battles cancer. So light fare. Meanwhile, he tries to live a typical teen life, goofing off at part-time jobs, occasional shoplifting, dating, and endless drives with his friends through the twisting back roads of his central Massachusetts. But when the police intervene after a prank backfires, the boys realize that their time as children is rapidly disappearing. So there you go. Good black and white slice of life book. I am super addicted to those, by the way. This is a book I've been looking forward to very much. It's called Fibbed. And it's from Razor Bill, which is an offshoot of Penguin. It says, Nana's not a liar. She always tells the truth. As ridiculous as it sounds to hear about the troop of circus squirrels stealing her teacher's toupee. When another outlandish explanation lands her in hot water again, her parents announce that Nana will be spending the number with her grandmother in Ghana. She isn't happy to be living with a family she barely knows in a country where she can't really speak the native language, but all her worries get a whole lot bigger, literally, when she comes face to face with Anais, the trickster spider of legend. There you go. So if you like cultural driven books, there you go. I think volume 11 of Sonic the Hedgehog is new this week. Volume 4 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Reborn from IDW. Volume 3, Usagi Yojimbo Origins is back in stock. Believe that that's actually new, first time in color. Lola Woods is awesome horror from Hill House Comics. You can get yourself a hardcover of Batman Reptilian, which I know you guys were waiting for. We are at LCS. We're just north of Houston, Texas.
It's the Sonic issues.
It's just, I think it's just collected issues. And it would be really nice if it said which ones on the back cover. I love it because usually it's,
I guess, like maybe there, maybe number 41.
Oh, yeah. It says 41, 42, 43, 44. Looks like those issues. Thank you. I wouldn't have seen that. Spider-Man. Oh, sorry, Spider-Man. Yeah. Spider-Man, Son of Kal-El. That would be something. Superman, Son of Kal-El. First hardcover here. Oh, Fort Worth.
Oh,
hello. Cool. What's your home store up in Fort Worth? I know a lot of those guys up there. And I think these are all restock. Oh, yeah, those are all cool restock stuff.
Just new printings.
Yes. Never heard of Fibbed. Yeah, that's new this week for sure.
That's kind of getting that vibe too.
Oh yeah. Has all of them. I have another young one that comes in all the time. She's probably 12 or 13. That she comes in and looks at the same or graphic novels for Sonic all the time, hoping that it's something that she doesn't have. But she has everything. So it's hard to explain to her that there hasn't been anything new printed in the last week, but I really wish it would. Arlington and My Comic Shop. Ooh, that's a big shop. That's like an international local comic shop. They have a lot of, you can order from anywhere from those guys. That's awesome. Thanks for joining us, Michael. All right, everybody. It's a weird week this week because we don't have any more books to preview. I'll show you our special posters. Let's see what they want us to pitch for what's coming out for you guys. Thank you to Image for these cool posters. Oh, there's Image in DC and other things. So let's see. Image wants you to think about putting Love Everlasting on your wish list. This is a Tom King book. It says, hello, my name is Joan Peterson, and I probably love you. Oh, man.
Quantum Leap with Romantic Edge.
That's a good quote.
Yeah, actually.
There you go. So think about this awesome new book that's coming out. It doesn't have a release date on this poster, but usually they give you plenty enough time. DC stuff. I bet you they are getting you all hyped up for the cool Pride covers that are coming out. They are. There you go. I think every DC title this next month has got cool Pride covers, so make sure you connect with your LCS if you want to have those. I know the LCSs are ordering very tightly on everything. So just make sure you stay in touch with them about those things. Sure. Do I have any full-size cutouts of Chris Hemsworth? I don't, man. I wish I did. That would be awesome. What if I just send Chris to your house? Will that be okay?
A Chris.
Just send a Chris Hemsworth. Ooh, that looks like there's a love match there between those books. You know, that Grimm #1 second print is definitely a spec book. The Dark Crisis is starting. I think that this week there is like a lead-in book. So the main storyline hasn't started. Consider jumping in here. It says the Justice League are dead. That happened in Justice League 75. Spoiler alert. That happened like a month ago. And can a new generation of heroes save the multiverse? I don't know. Unknown. They've done a good job of, they kind of pivoted when, they announced the new age of heroes and everyone said, for DC, and they listened. And so instead they pivoted away from that and they just started introducing these younger heroes in their own books and in other books. And then now we love them because they didn't come and just replace our guys. So that it has hope. It has hope. The ladies would go crazy if I just sent them over. I know a person. Weirdly. All right.
Oh, Sideways was good. I love Sideways.
Oh, yeah.
I know a Sideways fan. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Batman Beyond the White Knight, also reminding you to keep adding these. There's so many tie-ins that they keep throwing into it, the Harley Quinn. So if you are a person that likes the Beyond the White Knight storyline, make sure you put at your LCS all Batman Beyond the White Knight, because we don't always know that you want to have like the Harley Quinn tie-in or whatever if we think you just want the main title. So just know it looks like if they're sending us this now, they probably are going to continue on with these storylines. So you paid a price. Oh my Lord. That is a really good prank. And then also, hey, for you guys out of Dallas, we got these cool flyers for Fan Expo Dallas, which looks like there's going to be a bunch of cool people that are going to be there. You know what would make me happier? If all those were comic book people. But look at, there's cool peoples.
Cobra Kai guy.
Mm-hmm. I want to go see Ming-Na. Nathan Fillion would be awesome. You get 4 Hobbitses. All 4 Hobbitses in one place. That's crazy. Okay, so their comic book guests are Jim Lee, Donnie Cates, Ryan Stegman, Ryan Otley, Tom King, Tony Daniel, Francesco Mattina, Bjorn Behrens, Cale New, and Steven Segovia, and many more. Oh, only those guys were. Yeah, they got a big old long list. They're doing it right. They got a lot of comic book guests. They make me happy now. Ta-da. So anyway, there you go. No, sir. IJ love them too. Aww.
Those were really good books.
They were, and then they kind of like let them go, and I was like, "What's going on now?" So I'm glad they're going to come back around. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for a minute to skim it. And like I said, if you subscribe to the channel, you'll always be able to see us. We always do it this time, this day. We try to do it as spoiler-free as possible, but also give you enough information to kind of like make sure that you decide whether you like want to read it or not. Cale and Bjorn are good. Love it. All right, everybody. Thank you. Spread the word. Share comic books. Tell people how awesome they are. Don't be ashamed. Show your colors. I'll see you guys later. Bye, y'all.